Hello, everyone. If you're watching live, thank you very much for watching live. If you're catching the replay, thank you very much for catching the replay. My name is Carolyn Cole, and I am your show host. Now, this is a long title, but it's long for a reason. This is the Living Your True Life Live, where success and happiness meet show. Again, my name is Carolyn Cole. I'm founder of boomtank.com. That is my company, and I'm show host of the global Boomtank Business Show podcast. That is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, the new Google listening app for podcasts. It's available on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Overcast, and TuneIn. Please listen to the Boomtank Business Show and subscribe. I think you're really going to love it. Also, please visit boomtank.com and you'll see the name right below this picture in the blue, boomtank.com. Visit my site. And please subscribe. I've got some great stuff going on over there and a really cool audio download for you that you're going to love. It's around success and it's also around great life lessons that can really help you. Anything else I want to say about this? Oh, what I do. I am a global business consultant, and my clients are C-suite executives, business executives, professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners. And I can help you with a life redesign. I can help you with a business redesign. I help with both of those things. Please contact me if you need any of that. And if you even just want to chat about that, please reach out and contact me. If you like this video, please share it. If you love this video, please share it. Also, if you would like where this live stream originates, like it on facebook.com/the Boomtank. I'd really appreciate you. Please like this page. I'm building this audience here because it's very short-sighted to build this kind of momentum and these kinds of shows on your personal page where you're going to be limited to 5,000 views, where with your business page, sky's the limit, plan big. That's the message. Today, the topic of this show is shame bells. And in the future, I'm going to have really cool guests that are going to talk about the art of living your true life and what it means to live your true life and how that has brought them success and happiness. It's where the two meet. Because if you're not living your true you and what you're truly supposed to be and your true self, you're not going to have that ultimate happiness you seek and the success as well. Those two are inextricably linked. They are tied together by living your most authentic and true self. They're going to come on and talk about their journeys, going to bring in, just like I said, very cool people. Next week at this time, I don't know if I'll still be at Podcast Movement in Philadelphia. Podcast Movement, for those of you who do not know, is the largest national, international gathering of top podcasters, other podcasters, and it's NPR, it's big show hosts with massive download numbers, that whole spectrum of podcasts in all genres. It's not just business, it's entertainment, it's health, it's everything you can think of, comedy. Everyone will be there. And I was honored to be listed as a speaker months ago for Podcast Movement. So thank you very much, Jared, Dan, and everyone for that. Also, I'm co-hosting, well, I shouldn't say co-hosting, I'm running a professional networking workshop with 3 other show hosts, podcasters at the event Podcast Movement. We were asked to do that. So honored to be doing that as well. Pretty cool stuff. I'll be there Monday and Tuesday, a little bit of Wednesday. Not sure about Thursday yet. I think I may have other things planned, but it's very cool. And I will be live streaming from there. And also I may be able to have a guest or two talk about living your true life. I don't know if it will happen there or if it's going to happen after, and I have other guests that are already lined up for the future. It's going to be pretty exciting. So thank you for tuning into this. Let's get to today's topic, shame bells. And where does this come from? This comes from living your true life is about not being ashamed of what it is that you're doing that's great, what it is that you want to do that's really good, living into your full self and wanting to be your bigger self for a bigger impact on the planet or a bigger impact in your community. Whatever it is, it's life for the greater good. And there are people out there who will ring shame bells at you. You may be triggering, your greatness may trigger their smallness. Your greatness may trigger their insecurities. Your greatness may trigger their jealousy, or even you wanting that kind of greatness and impact and wanting to be your bigger self. Just the mere wanting it and vocalizing you want it can get them stirred up and get their shame bells ringing. Now, the reason I want to talk about this today is I did a post on this on Facebook this week, and I kept the Facebook post closed. Some people had wanted to share it out, which was super, super nice. And I got a fair amount of PMs on this because people were actually reticent about commenting publicly on that post, even though they have experienced it. And why is that? That is because I really targeted into shame bells from women against women. And some people say, oh, that doesn't happen. Yeah, it does. It's alive and kicking. Or they'll say, well, it doesn't happen as much as it used to. Well, it shouldn't be happening at all. And of course, there are guys out there who ring shame bells at each other and at women too. But I wanted to focus on women because there's a reason that women do this that women may not be cognizant of. And when we're talking about living our true life, we have to really untrain ourselves and start looking at our behaviors, other people's behaviors, and try to understand what it is that blocks us from greatness, what it is that blocks us from living our true life for success and happiness. And it's the shame bells of others that can keep us back. And let's look at let's deal with these shame bells and try and understand where they come from, why they don't pertain to us, why we should ignore them, and have a bit of compassion for the shame bell ringers. And maybe now, when I give this insight, if you agree with it, you can now spread the shame bell message if you see another woman shaming another woman and help correct this behavior. Because frankly, the sooner we get this behavior corrected, and women support women globally in a big way. Now, women will support you if you get a paper cut. 1,200 will show up for you. Yeah, they'll be there. You put out a New York Times bestseller, maybe not so much. That's the dichotomy. They will show up and support you in your smallness, and they will encourage each other to play small and to play humble and humility. And please do not confuse greatness and rising to your greatness and making a huge impact on the planet or in your community, making a huge impact in a small area with ego. It's not. And this post I'm going to read to you, it explains that. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's worlds apart. So here's my explanation of this. And I hope this really makes you cognizant of shame bells out there so that you can, number one, stop them. And number two, if they're directed at you, completely ignore them, walk away from them because they mean nothing to your greatness. In fact, listening to them will keep you in a small place, and they're coming from a wrong place, a place of smallness. I did an accompanying graphic to this post, and the graphic read, "Never let anyone shame you for playing big. You were born to." Let me repeat that again. Never let anyone shame you for playing big. You were born to. Shaming comes from a place of smallness and a selfish need for others to remain small too. So when people shame in terms of women and wanting women just to stay small and, the lesser salary, the lesser position, the lesser impact, the lesser visibility, all of this stuff, and introversion, by the way, tends to be an excuse. And I'm going to be posting something on that too. Yes, there are introverts and extroverts, but everybody can get visible. There's tons of introverts throughout history who have made history and have great names and great presence. So please keep that in mind. But this ringing the shame bell at you from woman to woman, it comes from a place of smallness and a selfish need for you to play small too, so that person ringing that bell does not feel small. And that's not your issue. That's their work to do. All right, let's keep going here. Hey, Kimberlyn, how are you? Hey. Kimberlyn, everybody check out Kimberlyn. She is rocking the planet. Well done, woman. All right, we're talking about shame bells, Kimberlyn. And I posted on this on Facebook this week, and I'm going to read the post and then have some closing comments on it. But this is very powerful. I haven't seen this kind of work out there, and it needs to be. And women will say, no, I get tons of support from women. Well, if you do, what kind of support are you getting? Are you getting support for the easy things, like a beautiful selfie, pictures of great travel, pictures of a great family, pictures of all the things that are very safe to support you in, but are you getting full-fledged support for your greatness and people saying to you, hey, that's cool. When are you going to go to this next level? Watch what you are getting. Pay attention to that. It's very important. Women, here's the post. Women are especially susceptible to insisting other women play small. It's time to retire the shame bells. Never let anyone shame you for playing big or encourage you to play small, especially women to women. Recognize shaming comes from a place of smallness, whether it's their jealousy, a trigger for their feelings of inadequacy, the fact your bigness makes them feel small, or societal training that being small is the right thing for women to be, or whatever hang up they personally have, it doesn't matter. Asking this of you is selfish and it's wrong. Let me repeat that again. Asking this of you is selfish and it's wrong. This is ancestral DNA. And let me explain that. This ancestral DNA of smallness for other women worldwide runs deep, and women are especially susceptible to insisting other women play small because of it. They truly think it's the right thing to do without really stopping to realize it's clearly not. And I want you to picture, if you watch Game of Thrones, the shame bell when Cersei is taking her walk of shame. That's what I want you to picture. And if you don't know what that means, just picture women with big bells ringing them at other women. Those are the shame bells. Let's see what Kimberlyn says. Kimberlyn says, yes, retire the shame bells. Absolutely. Go big or go home. Absolutely, Kimberlyn. Right on the money. For the better part of humanity, and this is the compassion piece, to understand where it's coming from, maybe in yourself or from others. So let's understand where this is coming from. It's still wrong, but let's understand it. For the better part of humanity, women were trained and forced to play small. And in parts of the world, they absolutely still are. Playing small will never free those women. It will never free them. And playing small only makes you small. It never makes the other person bigger. It doesn't. Don't even think it. Now, throughout history, women have literally been taught playing small is right for them. Playing big is wrong. And women are still largely in the self-policing role of playing small. Worse yet, women are policing other women to remain small and not shine too bright. Their message, stay small, stay humble. I lost my place. Hang on a second. Here it is. Okay. My print is very small today, by the way. Their message, stay small, stay humble, and we will support you. Again, stay small, stay humble, and we will support you. Otherwise, you get the public shame bell. And you really get the public shame bell. Women will savage women. And I want to give you a quick aside. I was in litigation for nearly 20 years. I did the big jury trials, right, for Fortune 100 and Fortune 200 companies. And that's what I did. For those who do not know me, I was a 2-decade trial attorney. And now I make the case on behalf of your business, career, and life dreams. That's what I do. In litigation, we knew as trial attorneys on both sides of the fence, whether you were a plaintiff or defense side of the fence, that women were notoriously hard on either women plaintiffs or women defendants. They just were. And all the men knew it, all the women knew it, all the judges knew it, even jurors knew it. This stuff really exists. And if we really look at it, I had a great guest on months ago, and I talked about her a lot because she's just fantastic. It's Judy Robinette. And her book is How to Be a Power Connector. She talks still about the queen bee syndrome, that in big organizations and big corporations where you have just a woman pretty much at the head, surrounded by men, that woman wants to protect that queen bee territory. Now, it's so much better because right now you have women with incredible wealth out of Amazon and out of Google, out of these big tech companies that have started women angel investing funds, women venture capital funds, and they're stepping out. They're stepping out into politics. We have a record number of women running for Congress in 2018, the most ever in the history of the world and the most ever in the history of the U.S. So the landscape is changing. And the idea is to be a humanist, right? We can say feminist, we can say whatever we want to be. I take the position of being a humanist, that all humans deserve that great shot. All humans deserve to be free of a shame bell. All right. And at this point in time, there is no reason why Western women, I understand why it may be happening in other cultures around the world that don't have Western sensibilities or our freedom. But in this country where we have the freedom and we have a free mind and we have a free voice, the fact that we are using that free mind and free voice to tear down other women is wrong. And it's selfish and it's insane. And when you preach to other women and not men, when you preach to other women to stay small, stay humble, have humility, all of this, and you don't preach it to men, you, my dear, are a sexist, and you, my dear, are wrong and selfish. Now, again, don't confuse the humble and humility and all of that with ego. Okay. That you're telling women to be less ego. You're still not telling men to have less ego, but women, there's a whole difference to it. And let me explain how this goes. Kimberlyn, you can go big and large, be humble. Shoot, that's the truth. It is absolutely, Kimberlyn. If you look at some of the greatest spiritual leaders in the world, some of the greatest social reformers in the world, some of the greatest people of faith in the world, some of the really decent politicians out there, they come from a place of greatness and service because they know two things. They can't pour from an empty cup. And if they have an empty cup, they're going to have to rely on their greatness to get that social reform, the messages out there to make those great changes on the planet. They never came from a place of small. You can be big. Absolutely, Kimberlyn, and still have your humbleness about you. Because when you are acting from a true place of service, you are not acting from a place of ego. So let's break this down and go forward about what this means. All right. Enough of this plain small oppression, and that's exactly what this is, especially women to women. And oppression is exactly what it is. Remember, when you ring your shame bell or somebody else rings a shame bell at you, they're oppressing you. They're trying to keep you down. Who are you? Don't get too full of yourself. Recognize it for oppression and keep walking. All right. It's time to retire the shame bells. Ever notice men do not have trouble with playing big and women do not have a problem when they play big? In fact, everyone supports men showing up their full, strong, big selves. It is expected. Throughout time, that's just the way the landscape has been. Remember, women in this country have only had the right to vote for nearly 100 years. It'll be 100 years in 2019, 2020. We've come a long way in 100 years, but remember, this is all ancestral DNA, right? We were raised to expect men to do this, all right? So that's our training in our brain that it's expected. No one, especially women, shame men when they play great. They just don't. They absolutely don't. Truly, small people will support you in your smallness. In fact, they will celebrate it. They will ask you for it. They will celebrate your average. They will encourage your average. Small people will do whatever it takes so you don't shine big and you don't have a big impact because that threatens them on different levels they don't even fully comprehend in all likelihood. All right. They will also bring the thunder when you play big. And we just went over that. Never, ever, ever let them shame you. Don't let them shame you. All right. No. I see what Kimberlyn says. Preach, Carolyn. I have to bring you on here. We need to preach together and talk about all this stuff, don't we? All right. That'd be a lot of fun. All right. Let's go on. Here's the concept. Playing big is freedom. A freedom those who advocate small will never have, as long as they cluster in small world, celebrating small and demonizing big, because they personally do not have the courage, that is the guts, to go big and break from the norm. They see your bigness as an attack on their smallness, when nothing is further from the truth. You are simply being true, big. You are truly being your big, authentic you, living your true life without their limiting beliefs. You and they were never born to play small, and you don't even see them as small. That's the kicker. You don't see them as small. It is they who self-identify as small. It is they who decide to live a life of false limits. It's them. You're too busy doing your big stuff. You're too busy focusing on the right things and trying to make an impact on the planet. That's where your focus is. You're not out there pointing to people, I'm better than you. You're smaller than me. You're not doing that because you're a great person doing great things and you've got the message. You're supposed to live in your greatness. And let me ask you something. We're all born. We're here right now, right? Were you born with a big stamp that says be less than? No. Were you born saying, I'm giving you all these gifts, but don't you dare use them? No. Who came up with that construct? Ancestral DNA. That's what came up with the construct. And we know the whole history of humanity, and we've watched different people fight for freedoms. And there's always been this struggle for peoples, plural, to live full lives and true lives. And the struggle is still real in parts of the world. They're still struggling. And guess what? They need your help. They need my help. They need our collective help to live free and to live true lives. All right. And the smaller these people see themselves, the louder they collectively ring their shame bells, shouting ego, because they lack the ability to differentiate between full self-esteem and ego. To them, the two are the same, even though they are clearly worlds apart. Because they lack self-esteem, they either do not understand it, fear it, and or completely resent it in other women. They worry if they personally have or show self-esteem, they will be judged by others with shame bells as being too full of themselves. They will be judged publicly as being wrong. That is what they fear. That is why they're not stepping into their greatness, because they're afraid somebody's going to shake the shame bell at them. Get over this. Support other women in their greatness. Encourage other women in their greatness, right? Celebrate it. Don't be threatened by it. It's there to help you, and you can do the same. Let's see what Kimberly's saying. I was born to go hard in the paint. Absolutely. Small people will celebrate your smallness every time, because that's what they're trained to do, by the way. That's what they're trained to do. And let's stop right here. I did a live stream interview yesterday with a fellow from Australia. He had me on his show, and it's coming out shortly. And here's the point. It's that the world celebrates average. Everything that's not average is abnormal, because it's not average. So when you rise above average, you are now abnormal, and the average doesn't support abnormal. So you got to get your head around that and realize when raise the bar. If we all collectively raise the bar, then we're raising the bar about what's average, and suddenly average becomes a little bit better. And if you go for great, which you should, then you're way above average. But at least collectively, we're raising the consciousness of the planet, the impact of the planet, the positive energy of the planet, and the positive wording and support of the planet. You know, we have to live by example. We have to demonstrate, if we're going to live our true selves, the truly great, big, and good parts of ourselves. Do not hide them. And Kimberlyn, I know you fully agree with that one. Let's see what else we've got here. We as women have freedom in the Western world because other women and men thought big for us. Men and women fought big for us. Remember that. And fought for us to show up big. Same for others who died in the process of gaining freedom throughout history. Do not dishonor their struggle and sacrifice with small talk for women. Do not do it. If the majority of the planet were not average by choice, if more great souls excelled and lived into their bigger selves and brought their bigger help to the planet without apology and without shaming, we would have a better world, period. Recognize such shaming and others who publicly support such shaming, because it's not just the shamers, it's those who publicly support the shaming as well. They come from a place of true smallness and move on. Move on with your greatness. And I'll tell you what happens when you do. When you move on with your greatness and you fully accept your true big self, and you're living in your authentic self, and you're not apologizing for one piece of yourself, and you're still working on the things you have to work on, but you love you support you, and you go forward, you're now going to attract other great souls, because other great souls find each other, just like negative people find each other. And when you find other great souls on the planet, guess what happens? They support you in your bigness. They help you. They bring you into their world. They love you. They care about you, just like you love, care, support them, and bring them into your world. It's real. It's basic group dynamics. So go for those positive people who are going to love you, support you, and encourage your greatness. For me, I'm consumed with bringing out the greatness in everybody I meet, no matter who, no matter what. And the greatness can be on a smaller scale. I'm not talking that everybody has to build a rocket ship and be the first one to, an outer planet. I'm not talking that. If you want to do that, I'm on board with that. I'd love to do that personally. I think I know other people who would too. I'm talking about just being your greatest self, whatever that is, that really brings your greatness, and you impact the planet with your true self. All right. You will never find truly successful and happy people who are making a positive impact on the planet encouraging anyone to play small, ever. And let me read that again. You will never find truly successful and happy people who are making a positive impact on the planet, encouraging anyone to play small, ever. It's never going to happen. Their self-esteem and vision allows them the privilege and beauty of imagining a better world and taking action to make it so, without apology. Those are the souls to listen to and rally with, not the other people on Facebook or the other platforms that have just whatever going on. Follow the people that truly inspire and lead. Watch what they do and watch the impact they have without apology. And the stronger they get, the shame bells disappear because they can't take them on. They're gone. The shame bells go on and they shame the smaller people coming up because that's an easier target. Keep that in mind. Those are the souls to partner with and play big because they will have the self-esteem to support you. Have no doubt you were born to play big. Never let anyone else or their bell try to convince you otherwise, and never be ashamed of it. All right. That here endeth the post. That was the post. Go big without apology. Absolutely. Yep. You are in the room today, as they say in church. And I'm so glad you're in this room too, Kimberlyn. All right. That was the important message. And Kimberlyn, we should talk. We should talk about maybe doing. I'm watching you too, Kimberlyn. Eyes on you right here. Here's the thing. And I want to talk to you about something, Kimberlyn. I can't do it today, but I'll probably reach out to you maybe tomorrow by PM. We need to understand that everybody grows and everybody grows up. I am so big on whomever I know, whether it's in the online space or the offline space. When I see they want to do something more, I am the first to rally to their side. Whatever time I have, I still have time for an encouraging word and rally them to their greatness and promote them to go. It's my calling on the planet. And I have a suspicion that you watching, Kimberlyn's demonstrated it, but other people we know have that same need. So why not today, when you're watching this replay, think about who you can go online tonight or in your life offline and celebrate and say, great job, go bigger. Not just great job if they do something small, go bigger. And I'll tell you what's really upsetting to me, and Kimberlyn and I come from the same space on this. We have a lot of women on the planet who are doing great big things, amazing things, especially in the angel investing and venture capital world, who are also deeply spiritual, also big social reformers. We have great women in politics and men too in those fields, right? There are great people across all strata, but we also have people in positions of leadership that are raising women to their smallness, who are building businesses to the smallness, who are building lifestyles to the smallness, who are cultivating messages to the smallness. And we have to understand that that's wrong. It's wrong to keep people in containers. It's wrong to not look at somebody as they could be in full bloom and stop and say, you know what? I see this about you. I'm not sure it interests you, and I'm trying to push this on you, but this is what I see of you in full bloom. You see, it's going to take an exercise in putting down the shame bell for a lot of women. And I heard from somebody the other day that somebody shamed them around how their hair looked, et cetera, et cetera. Are you kidding me? How petty and small that is? And it doesn't matter, right? That's the kind of stuff you have to get used to just moving on. What we're trying to do is really elevate women to the position where they celebrate, actually feel that celebration of a woman who is making a difference on the planet, who is doing great work. And the greater they are, the bigger their heart, the bigger the applause should be, the bigger the support, the bigger the sharing, all of that, right? And this is a whole new model, by the way. This is a new model. People say, oh, no, it's so much better. No, it's really not that much better. And if you think it's better, you're in a bubble. You're in a small bubble. You're in a very a unicorn bubble, a very, oh yeah, everything's okay bubble. You're not in a bubble around powerful women trying to do powerful things and make a huge difference on the planet. That's a whole different landscape. Okay, let's see. It's wrong all dog on day. Absolutely, Kimberlyn. So let's try to envision ourselves bigger, and we can still keep our sense of just being good, right? None of this, I say to you today, none of it comes from a place of ego. If you truly know me, and this is a piece that I work on, is that I, in my mind, limit myself all the time about what I'm doing and what impact it's having. I don't think about it. And I should stop and celebrate the differences I'm making on small you don't see. I'm totally tuned into the online world back again because let me tell you something. The really big stuff is happening offline. The huge stuff is happening offline. It's not here in this little camera with you and me right now. And I'm plugging in all over, doing different things with different people. And the people that I am now circulating with and the people that I'm being introduced to, they have massive hearts. They come from a place of greatness. They think really big. I mean, really big. And they are the most decent people on the planet. And you will never catch them, as I said in this post, you will never catch them shaming somebody for playing great or playing big. They are the ones that will rally you, cheer you on, say, you've got this, hang in there. Let me see if I can find somebody to help you. Why don't you try this? Here's something maybe you should look at. They're the ones who will come to your side. Small people are not going to help you rise to your greatness. They're not going to give you the resources. They're not going to introduce you to the power connections. They're not going to help you. They are only going to help you keep small so that they feel good in their smallness. You got to create new groups, new friends if you're stuck in that, a new realm. Listen, you've got this one life. Live before you die and live your true great self. Live it. Okay, so that is where I am right now at the end of this live stream. Kimberlyn, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, if you love this video, please support the show and please share this out. I'd greatly appreciate it. Please like boomtank.com. Subscribe. Go over to boomtank.com, my site, and subscribe. My podcast is there, the Boomtank Business Show podcast, the global show. Grab that. I'm going to be taking audio from these shows and putting that on the podcast as well as my Tuesday live show, Winning in Business Live. So Kimberlyn, right, I have to expand my circle. Kimberlyn, you are going to see your life, business, message, mission, all of that take off when you get out of the circle. And here's the trap. Okay. Here's the trap. And we talked about this in one of the other live streams, you and me. Okay. This is the trap. It's you can't be a prophet in your own town. Now, that comes from the Bible. It's biblical. It's way back when, and there's a history behind it. But you can't be a prophet in your own town usually. And what this means is this. For living your true life and stepping into your greatness, it means that people, when you're in a small environment, they don't want to see you grow because, as I said, it raises a whole host of issues for them. You have to leave your town. And when I say leave your town, what I'm talking about is leave your online groups or keep them, but grow into other ones, go to other events, other relationships, go offline and grow your other identity, your bigger identity, your fuller self, because people typically don't like people changing, especially if it makes them feel less than. So sometimes you cannot be a prophet in your own town. And that advice is over 2,000 years old, and it's true today. For me and my message, I have to keep going to other places because my container, and it's my doing, my container was this big. And I limited myself to the people I knew and the people I networked with and whatnot. And I have some of the most lovely people in my world from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then also my whole legal career. But we are called upon to expand, and you need to. And these people will love you. And if you have the right people who love and care about you, they're expanding too. And they are. The ones that I am closest to in my circle, they are expanding as well. And they're doing really great things. I mean, they're making a difference. Kimberlyn, you are expanding, right? You are expanding with your events, with your message, with all of it. And you have to keep doing that. So every day, I want you to renew yourself. Renew yourself. And I've got another post coming out on this. It's new, all right? New people, new opportunities, new messaging, new. Renew yourself. And when you renew yourself, you're going to be attracting things that you never even thought possible. And that is only the beginning for you, only the beginning. And it all falls into place after that. So I hope that helps you. Kimberlyn, thank you. But we will talk this week. Let's do that. I've got to run now. Actually, I've got to get out of here in 1 minute or so because I've got something else to do. But let's definitely talk and let's figure this out. For all of you that have tuned in, thank you very much on the replay. I really appreciate it. Again, please share this video. Please like this video. Please like facebook.com/the Boomtank. Help me build the page, support the show, subscribe over at boomtank.com. Any questions, any comments, please leave them in the comments. I address everyone. If you have something that you want to PM me about, please PM me. So I will see you next week. Again, I will be at Podcast Movement in Philadelphia, taking part in that. I was honored to be given a role. So I will be fulfilling that role, live streaming from the event. We'll figure out next Thursday. It's kind of play by ear right now, whether I'll be there live streaming or here at my office live streaming. Either way, I will see you next week on the stream Tuesday for Winning in Business Live from Podcast Movement, and Thursday either there or right here. All right. Have a great rest of the week and your weekend. And I am rooting for you to put those shame bells out of your world, move on to your greatness, and live where your success and happiness meet, and get that fulfillment along the way. Do great things on the planet. Rooting for you, and you're going to do this. Okay, take care. Have a good one. Kimberlyn, thank you very much for tuning in. All right, gang, catch you next time.